There you
Hey,
go.
hey guys, how you doing? There were no questions, Patrick, over the what was the 2 weeks ago we're
No, we're
on.
losing popularity.
That's
Uh,
okay. It's amazing though. You can have a YouTube video with how many videos? Over 400 videos and
but we're
millions of
not
hits.
active. We're not active enough. That's
We're not
why.
active enough. We
Yeah,
know that, but we did just leading into that or thinking about that. We're going to be teaching again in Lexington Arts if the class
I
fills up.
saw that. Yeah.
It's scheduled for January. So we'll see. Hi, Malcolm. How you doing? We're going to see if we fill a class. If we don't fill it this time, I'm really questioning what's going on with in classes, in live classes, in-house classes, because in the heyday we were teaching. This was before Patrick. I was teaching 3 nights a week, 12 people at a class. I had an assistant helping me too. So that's 36 people a week, believe it or not.
How much were the classes back then?
They were reasonable, but it was a great little class, very busy, of course. And now that we ran a class the last time and we didn't fill it. We needed a minimum
Well,
of
that was a
five.
little bit suspicious because we did fill it,
Well,
but then it was too late. And
well,
then
the day that they canceled it, 3 people called and we could have ran it. If I was doing it privately, I probably would have just ran it. But when you're at the mercy sometimes of an organization like Lexington Arts and Crafts. They've been wonderful. They have a wonderful space over there, but we'll see. Jane, hello. Want to learn how to reupholster my parents' couch and love seat? You can
Mm.
certainly find some tips on
No,
the.
what don't we have Jimmy's? No, it's a settee. Would that maybe that class would help her?
Well, Jane, if you're in the Boston area, you could take a class. I'm not sure. You could check out Lexington Arts and Crafts if you are in this area. Malcolm
But
says.
we have the online class that she could check. Which class would help with that? I don't know.
Malcolm says buy. So there are
Yeah,
paid classes, right, Patrick,
yeah,
that you can buy that are a little bit more in depth. We get a kick out of people call.
on our website.
People will sometimes people complain about the camera angle in the regular videos or the lighting or something like that, and we just kind of throw up our hands and say, it's free. What do but some of this stuff that they're producing, Patrick, free videos are really good. Why is that? I mean, some of the stuff, if they got the resources to do it or the technology. I mean, we had a pretty good camera, $12,000 camera, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we put an investment in this. So when we first started the videos, she's in Minnesota, Jane. I would say Malcolm's advice. We have a Patrick. I think Jimmy has a sofa, doesn't he? That he did, or a love
Well, the
seat,
closest thing that would be the settee,
the settee. Yeah.
French settee class.
Well,
Yeah.
what's the difference between a sofa, a love seat, and a chair? Really, just measurements, really. And so, if you look at the chair videos that we have, you're going to learn a lot, measuring and all that, and the basics. And it really does depend too how good you are, what your skill level is. If you have any cross skills, like Malcolm. Malcolm is multi-talented. I think Malcolm, he does woodworking. He does more than I do from a standpoint of services. So if you have skills, people have learned. We have people who have actually learned from our videos and opened up their own upholstery shops.
She has multiple pieces. She's saying that
Yeah,
we could get the thing we have. We buy all the classes, and you have
yeah.
all of them for life.
Well, where does she go, Patrick? Broadway Upholstery,
Upholstery on Broadway.com.
Upholstery on
Yeah, no more
Broadway.com.
of that.
Okay.
Had an issue with that. We lost the name, and then had to pay 2,000 if we wanted it back. So
Wow. Well, they got you over a barrel sometimes. So Malcolm says he says to Jane, get all the classes. I bought them and they're very useful. Does he have them perpetually,
yeah,
Patrick?
get them
Anybody?
forever.
Oh, okay. That's good. Or perpetually or forever. Either one.
Yeah, in perpetuity.
So yeah, so the classes at Lexington Arts. Hopefully, I like the classes. I really do. You meet all kinds of people. I mean, in one of the classes, I met a stand-up comedian, and she was very interesting. Remember Daryl, Darylyn?
Yeah,
She was really
these
really
kind of
cool.
people that come out of nowhere.
I
A
know,
different
and
character.
it's great. You got these. It takes a village, as they say, right? But she was a hot ticket, and she actually designed the entire late night show. With that, what's
Yeah.
his name? What's the guy that hosts that late show?
I have no idea, but
Yeah, come on.
I don't know if I believe that.
She did. No, she's recreated the whole set,
Oh, I think you bet she
a
worked on that.
miniature set,
Yeah.
miniature set.
I can't tell what you're
I think she's gonna
what's
get it.
fact or fiction
I think
here.
she's gonna get invited on the TV. Upholsterers meet people. I mean,
Is it the Merv Griffin set?
I've met Liv Ullmann. People might not. He doesn't know who Liv Ullmann is, but she's an old time movie actress who had in here in Concord. We have the James Belushi sofa. Napoleon's chair. We've done. I fixed the friend's sofa in an emergency situation when it came to Boston.
Whatever happened to this
Uh,
new one that you
what?
were talking about
What?
out in LA? Is that happening?
Oh well, I'm going to mention it. Why not?
Oh, it's not good if
So
you're gonna mention it.
I'm
Means
going
it
to
fell
mention
through.
it. Why
Uh,
should I mention it? You
did it
mention it.
fall through?
No, it's still in the
Then don't mention
works.
it yet.
Why?
Oh, because I don't want to.
Oh, come on. Why
So
not?
so ridiculous. I don't know.
Well, we're
Uh,
going to say, I have
Wait till you hear this,
a
Malcolm.
friend's daughter
Ridiculous.
who's one of the assistants for Kim Kardashian wants to do upholstery work. She wants to send us work from Hollywood. So Patrick will go into Logan Airport and go on the runway and pick up the furniture and bring it to the
I bet you're gonna
shop.
hear yourself on that call on some TV show, some prank call TV show in the
What do you mean,
future.
a prank? You think
That's
it's a prank? I don't know if it's gonna happen. People talk. People want to help, and then they don't fall. It's okay. We'll see. That will be interesting.
we should mention why we've been you have been very busy while we haven't been on. You have been very busy with other things. It's just
Yeah,
the things are a little bit strange, right?
yeah. When you have certain like for instance, I got a call today from somebody who has a company that does organic furniture here in Massachusetts. And I do organic furniture. What is that? What's organic furniture? It's a wood frame, and all of our upholstery supplies that we use would be organic, like jute, cotton, all that. Foam. The foam's not polyurethane, but latex, maybe. You can actually make a piece of furniture. It with all organic materials, and that's what they do. But she had a problem with the delivery, and she needed me to help her. But I couldn't help her with it because it was so damaged. But she was asking about my business, and we didn't even get to prices because she said, in her words, "I get it shipped from California with the cheap labor." You know, so it always bothers me when people locally don't support local businesses. I mean, they're getting stuff shipped not only from California but all over the world. You know, where they have things not just upholstery but in their own neighborhood. They have, Seinfeld did a funny episode, Patrick, of mom and pop stores,
That was
which
a good one.
I think poked a lot of fun at the mom and pop stores, right? But mom and pop stores are interesting. I think they really are the fabric, no pun intended, of a community. I think, and then when you get a few of these stores together, I think I think it makes an interesting community, a vibrant community. I think we have too many corporate, businesses out there. Who needs another, the M word? Malcolm says, careful with the word organic. It has to be certified to use the word in trade. Use natural instead. That's a good point, Malcolm. Um, Malcolm says, I have a lot of work in the shop. It's been very quiet here. Oh, no. He's asking me, have you had a lot of work? Well, this is interesting. So I get called, people expect, for some reason, the price point expectations has gone way down. Even before I give pricing, I know that people don't accept it. They can't. They don't understand why it's too much, or they came in with a preconceived price in their head. Like for instance, a woman had a love seat, and I gave her an estimate on a small chair, and I knew I wanted the job. I got the job on the small chairs, and I gave her the price on the love seat. I just tell you, I charge her $1,100. I haven't gotten $1,100 in 20 years on a love seat. And she complained about that. I said, you know what? I'm giving you such a good deal on that. Usually they're about 2,200. Giving you $1,000 off, and the consideration there was, and she's getting her own fabric, guys. So the profit is already gone. I offered free pickup and delivery. So this is what's going on. So I'm thinking now about doing something a little different. Maybe I was in the higher end market, and I think I'm going to be going into that, Malcolm. I'm reshaping the shop a little bit, and I'm going to tap into some of the local high end resources, and maybe I'm trying to draw in a different clientele. Maybe more decorators. I used to manage 12 decorators or 14 decorators for my brother-in-law years ago, which meant you have to have a file on each person. You need to know them. You need to personally know them. You'd go over to their houses. You meet their husbands and their wives or whatever. I mean, it really developed those personal relationships because designers work on that. That's how they work. But I'm thinking about getting back into that because the general public has really could be that the brand names have really worked on them and their mentality and pricing. That's pretty sure that's what it is, Patrick. So that's what you're fighting against. That's so my shop's empty too right now. I mean, I've got some things in the work which I'm gonna read. Just delivered 8 dining room chairs, concierge delivery, white glove delivery, because again, you can't be charging people, you can't be hiring design. So there are professional design, they're called design services around here that do the shipping, and they charge. This delivery today, which was in neighboring town where I am now, probably would have been about a $600 delivery for 8 dining room chairs, but they would have had them packaged up. They would have had them, plastic over the packaging, and blanket. It would be a blanket delivery. So that it is expensive, but it's done. These chairs deserve that.
It's tough to
And
find good delivery people too.
well,
Yeah.
like this sofa I saw today, you should have seen what they did. They took the sofa, Malcolm, right? They had it down on the ground on a carpet with the wooden legs, and one guy went behind it and pushed it. And
Did it go through the wall, or was the wall
no, he
okay?
pushed it so hard that the leg snapped, and then he kept pushing it, and then they used jute instead of cambric on the bottom because that's the organic material,
That's the
or
worst
as
when that
or
happens,
as
right?
Malcolm
Yeah.
says, the natural material. But and then they kept pushing, and then all of the jute burlap came away too.
Hmm.
So so Malcolm says he lost 6 estimates in a row, and I'm concerned. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's
Well,
really
but at least
across the board.
well, you'd say this. At least the calls are coming in now. Before a couple months, you weren't even
The
getting the
calls are
calls. At
coming
least they're coming
in,
in.
but I'm at the point now, Malcolm, where I might be going back out. I might have to. So to save time, I would say to a customer, "Oh, I want to come in with a cushion." They'll say or something. I say, "Well, this is what I'm saying now, but I'm starting to rethink this." So I say, "Well, why don't you text me ahead of time a picture, and then just in case make sure the pricing is right." Oftentimes, I don't hear from them after that. So in the old days, the old school way of doing things before the internet, before texting, was the phone would ring from the yellow pages. You'd pick up the phone and take a message and saying what time do you want? We'll schedule to come out before you even discuss any prices to give you a chance to get in the door and to build that personal relationship with your customer. So what I'm going to try to do is build that with the designers. So I'm kind of on top of this, Malcolm. You might want to consider this, Malcolm. You might want to consider getting to know where's Malcolm's
He's
shop
in
again?
Arizona, but not sure what point.
So
But I've seen some pretty fancy places in Arizona.
how far away is the nearest design center to you, Malcolm? Because I'm going to give you a little tip. Um, did my first in-home estimate in years 2 weeks ago for 3 chairs. Now I haven't heard back. I did my first in-home estimate in years. So Malcolm's on top of this.
What's going on with your voice?
He's
You need a cough drop.
no, it's all right. Malcolm's on top of this.
Yeah.
Malcolm's
No, he
smart.
is. He is.
So Malcolm and I are, we're kind of proactive in all this because I see this. But I used to love. I took a little sociology and a little college. I don't even know if Patrick knows this. Little sociology, psychology, but sociology always fascinated me, and I think this is from a this is a sociology type question. I think it's demographics, it's economics, it's gender driven sometimes. There's a lot of factors in this. So I'm going to start instead of just saying text me and I'll give you an estimate. I'm going to say, well, where do you live? Maybe I should come out, get your foot in the door, and Malcolm, you know
Well,
Surprised that
Malcolm's
didn't
near
work for him.
Sedona. I don't know if he's near Sedona, but I'll tell you what, probably plenty of designers there. I was like,
Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm working with
oh, so he's somewhat
one
close
design
by.
center, but there are a few more. You're already doing it, yeah. Um, I Patrick and I, our best year, I think, was 2018, Patrick. You're
Right?
listening to me?
Yeah.
In 2018, we won Best of Boston, and we were given like we were like the belle of the ball at the local design center, which is in
Yeah,
Boston.
18,
Do
19.
you
Because
remember?
up until COVID,
That
we were doing
was
that was our big year. Remember that?
that was a huge
Yeah.
year. Then
Yeah.
COVID. I think COVID has something to do with this, guys. I really do. I think it's changed the marketplace somewhat.
Could it be that everyone got their stuff done during COVID that now people don't
No,
need it?
no,
Is that
no, it's not
possible?
that, it's not that.
Yeah.
The other thing too is sadly, I hate to say this, I think the family structure is so much different now. When I first started, I was in a community, a family, bedroom community, and I'm surrounded by more bedroom communities, and families were a little bit more, I hate to say it, I think more stable. I don't think the families are as stable. What I mean by that is generationally, I think for a variety of reasons, I think families don't keep their home as much. Their
People move a
the
lot more.
ancestral
Yeah.
home, yeah. People are moving. People are moving in their smaller families, so there's not that ancestral furniture that anymore.
Which
Or
surprised me because
few of them.
everyone's inside with technology now more than they were.
I know, but they're all doing things. We'll figure it out, and then you just need to change. I think Malcolm knows, and so he says Sedona is 100 miles north of him.
Okay. Yeah. All I
So
remember was Sedona. It was really nice. It was very fancy.
yeah,
So I'm sure there's
well,
plenty of designers there.
but the other thing too, Malcolm, is that you've got a lot of people chasing the design, and people catch on to this, and I'm talking about it now. But working with designers is a different type of thing. You really have to know the language, and you really have to know what you're talking about. For instance, I have a job now where it's really a good brand, 20-year-old Cravat furniture, and I've never seen as much down. Everything's down, the seat cushions and the back cushions, and I've never seen more down in a seat cushion in my life. It weighs a ton, and so they're thinking about redoing. They're thinking that it might be have a little musty smell, which it does. So they're thinking about changing it out. So I suggested springing down cushions with a Marshall unit. I have to get into a lot of detail when I'm talking to designers more than the average customer. But the designers know too. They're just you know. So I don't know. So Malcolm says Sedona is a very expensive town, but they likely source a lot of design items from Scottsdale.
Ah,
Yeah. So
maybe that's a market for that.
let's get to a couple of more of these. So I do have some work. Thank God. Um,
It's not all doom and gloom.
no, no, no. So I had but this is, I'm grateful for the work I have, guys. I really am. But one of the big changes that's happened is people are shopping for their own fabric so much more now, and they do it before they come to me sometimes. They might have a fabric already in mind, already picked out. They just need to know how many yards and let me do the labor. So that really, how does that cut into your profit? I'll tell you. So there's a sofa here that I did. So this is interesting. I picked the sofa up. They had their own. They bought their own fabric, and expensive fabric too. They got it for wholesale because they. That's another issue. I don't want to get too far into it, but that's what they did. It wasn't a fabric store fabric. It was a first run fabric, not a fabric that I carried, but they managed to. People could play the system. They managed to get it wholesale on that. So on this particular job, if I look at the 20 yards of fabric, and let's say it was $100 a yard, that's 50 times 20. That's $1,000 profit right there off the top, gone. But then I get the labor, which is 32. Um, but I had to, even with this, I had to offer free pickup and delivery on this. So again, there goes a little profit there. Um, so instead of 3,200, which is what 3,200 I got, I'm not complaining, but it could have been let's see, 52, 6. It could have been almost double that. So But would I have the work? Probably not. Because even though this was a good mid-century furniture, still the price points, like, um, even people might hesitate on that. So I'm glad I have the job. I'm not complaining too loud. I'm glad I have it, but that's what I'm dealing with. And of course, I have designers. Even the designers they're working hard. They're telling me that they're working their butt off trying to convince people to do things too. It's not just me. So people, even with who have a lot of money for some reason, it's not like it used to be. But I gave an estimate for a job. Let's say 10,000. Um, it gave a lot of items. There's a lot of items in this job. Turns out they only want to do half of that. And so, that's I'm not buying the fabric on this job either. So there's another fabric loss. So what do I do? I don't know. And then this job. So this is an interesting job. I gave a quote for two MR chairs. I don't know if you guys know what those are. These are high end, really high end, mid-century chrome chairs with channels, horizontal channels in them. Very difficult job, and they have this heavy rubber webbing underneath, a really heavy webbing that she wanted me to replace. I said, can't do that. Now this job's been going on for a while. We've been going back and forth with this job, and I didn't know if I had it. Then she came back. Now she's back again, and she wants me to find some leather for it. Sourcing leather these days is a difficult thing. That's what I'm finding out. I don't usually get into a lot of leather. Um, I usually do mostly fabric. So I'm finding out sourcing leather is difficult. You got to be careful who you get, because I won't mention the company. They're very disappointed in me very much. First they said they had it, and then it doesn't come. I said, "Where is it?" "Oh, we don't have it now." And then now it's dropped completely. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to have to source the leather somewhere else. I think what I'm saying is, on leather, you might want to make sure that it has to be in hand. You have to actually have it in hand. Find somewhere where they're just going to sell it. You could see the leather. You could just buy it instead of ordering it. That's where I'm at with this one. Um, but hopefully I can find. She wants a dark green leather. Hopefully I can get a sample and sell it to her. And it's not a wholesale situation though. So this is another problem. Somebody is saying they love something. I don't know who.
They press that thing.
Oh, they did that.
That's the first time I've
Must have
seen
been
that
a
on here.
must have been an accident.
I think it's supposed to be the poop thing.
So that's one thing. And then I got these small jobs. I'm doing a lot of smalls. I'm doing a lot of slip seats, dining room chairs. And the reason I think Malcolm for that and everybody else is that you got a dining room tables. There's always a table attached to the chairs, so they can rationalize spending money on the slip seats when you look at it, and that's a good selling point too on dining room chairs. Saying you got to replace the whole set. No, when they look at it just in that way, and sometimes people have side tables that match, so a whole set compared to just a single chair or sofa on its own, they can rationalize to maybe buy new. But on it, so we do a lot. You notice, Patrick, there's a lot of dining room chairs and everything else.
No.
And here's my leather job that I've been waiting forever for. We do a lot of
I
ottomans.
mean, that book looks pretty thick. I can't see how or not.
No,
Booming with
well, this Malcolm says he's the last 5 estimates or so he's went on. So I keep current estimates in the back. So these are my current estimates.
Looks like they're from the
The
1900s.
one, no, this is current. Like they go back, to September. But when they get a little old, I put them here, and then the older ones, I have a whole box full.
I was educating for people going through paperwork.
No, I'm
So
talking
you
about the
wanna
jobs. So Malcolm says he lost a job a couple of weeks ago because I don't have delivery services. It's rare, first time this year that he's lost a job because of that. But you might be competing with somebody that's offering, like me, offering free pickup and
I
delivery.
was gonna say we barely have a delivery, so we do it, but it's like
Yeah.
you said, it's a struggle.
Yeah, it's developing. It's like it's really sharpens. I told you last time I was on. It really drives me crazy. You get a decorator. The decorator's, aren't always great either. She said she was identified herself as a decorator. I'm looking for an upholsterer. She says, she's in the next town over. So I said, this is great. It's convenient. I'm here. Most of your customers are in the area. Blah blah blah. And she said her last upholsterer was good, but he became, what is the term she used? A
Uh,
radio dead
Radio
silence,
silent.
radio
Yeah.
silence. And so she's looking for a new upholsterer. So great. I was giving her some pricing and everything else, and she called. At least she called and said, "Well, I found somebody else with the same 5-star rating that you have, but less. So I'm going to go with them." And it was like somewhere far away. So she was gonna be willing just to
I bet
go
you
that
she's
far.
already moved off of whoever that was too.
I don't
Most
know.
likely.
But, I had to respond in a nice way. I said, "Would you rather don't would you rather support somebody local?" Isn't that what
Why do?
happened to that
Why
concept?
do know? Why do that?
The concept of local. I mean, I you should see what I do, of course, in my day. I probably shouldn't say this because I try to get Patrick to save money. But I like to, we have a grocer in my little block. There's a bakery, there's a grocer, there's a barber shop, and so I like to visit and patronize them. And then I walk down to the center, which is about a few blocks away. I'll get a coffee down there. I'll go to there's a Brickstone Pizza, right, Patrick? We'll get a pizza there.
Really good place.
And then I try to make a point of buying gas in the neighborhood too. There's a nice guy who we talk, and my bank is in the neighborhood, and I get to meet the bankers, and we talk about business, local business. I think it's really important. But I have that old. I guess it's old fashioned. I'm not shopping. I'm not shopping the cheapest price at going 10 towns over. This is Derby, Patrick.
Oh, cool. Read
What is
that.
she saying? Laugh out loud. You guys are funny. I live in Eastern Oregon, and there's a big leather show going on this weekend or next weekend in Pendleton. It's a wholesale type show, but however, I was told there are hides.
That's why I like it out there. They have these cool.
So in the
They
industry,
don't have any leather shows around here.
yeah, no, no, no
It's
leather
awesome.
shows, no cowboys around here.
It's so cool
So there's a controversy about hides. Some people spell it Hydes. Some people spell it. I spell it like Darby does, Hides.
though. Yeah, HY is like Jekyll and
Well, maybe that's better.
Hyde.
And then here's a job, and this woman is sweet. I mean, my customers mostly are nice. She's sweet. They have no idea. For some reason, upholsterers get no respect. I feel like Rodney Dangerfield sometimes, Patrick. So this woman lives in the local town over. She I love seeing her sofa. She was all excited that she got this fabric for $22 a yard. And so, I mean, I'm just doing the labor on this job, but $22 a yard. I can't even get fabric for wholesale for that. So that's what you're up against sometimes. And the thing is, there's no she's not a nice lady, but there's no thought of geez, it's going to take some profit away. It's like going into a gas station with all your own auto parts. Does any gas station let you do that, Patrick?
Yeah, we just did that with our tires. What are you talking about?
Not ties, you know what I mean. I'm talking about the mechanical work. I felt bad about that too. So Patrick had special tires for the truck, which they didn't have at the dealership. But we bring the I see. He's
There we
right.
go.
He's right. Thanks, Patrick.
We found a reason to do it. Wonder why everyone else.
But I felt uncomfortable. That was more you. I would have gotten the tires there. I don't know what's different about these tires.
Might be that case too. We only carry two different lines of fabric.
So Darby says she lives in a town with no stoplights and 100% agree to support local businesses. Then I had another job here. It's a club chair that it's been going on. This is tough, guys. It's just a chair, um, and it's been going on since July. July. It's been going on. July, August, September, October. We're almost in 4 months for a chair, back and forth in the shop. I probably spent, it's another thing, your time. If you were charging by the hour, you know, you might be better off. But back and forth, looking at fabric, not liking that, ordering samples, and none of those work. Coming in again, I'd say for this particular client, maybe 4 hours into it. 4 hours. And every one of these estimates that I have here, and Malcolm, this represents probably about an hour of work. Whether it be phone calls, emails, or whatever, with each client. Um, don't get me going on third billing. It's another thing. Do we have time for third billing and writing invoices? These are handwritten invoices. If you don't like it, that's fine with me. I don't have time or staff to write. What do they call them, Pat? Pro forma ones or whatever they call them.
I do once in a while. We'll do a bit. We'll write a
Once
bit.
in a while, and we may do it for certain clients if they're a big client, right? But you couldn't do it for every one of these estimates. You want to talk about
You
wasting
need
more
somebody to
time.
just do an app of that'd be their job.
My excuse with the handwritten estimates, and if you guys out there, if you're going to be doing this, Malcolm, I bet you do this. Do the handwritten. I have the duplicate copy, the carbon copy ones. So I give the customer yellow and I get the white. But the thing about this is, while you're talking to people, you're putting the notes down here. Very little gets lost in the translation with this. But what does get lost, you transfer this over to a document, Patrick, a Word document, and you leave out stuff. It it really is cool. It really is weird how that happens. What Malcolm says, I pre-interview prospects before writing up an estimate so I don't waste time. I have been emailing a written estimate and then thinking I'm not doing that in the future, as I think prospects are, yeah, and shopping them around. Then I got customers. This guy, I'm telling you, I've been around since '76, and I used to in
That
1976.
long, huh?
I was just a kid. I was like out of high school, and I used to go on estimates for this wonderful man, Mr. Rubenstein, and he used to let me go out. He thought maybe because I was personable, but never. I've been around a long time. Never have had people. This fellow, nice guy, negotiate with me, like telling me what the building's going to be. Like he said, first of all, do you have a credit card or a payment? Do you have a I can't pay you all. I'll pay you a quarter now and a quarter when you come pick it up and a quarter, telling me how. So I'm usually quick. So what I said to him, I said, well, in a way, I do have a payment system, a payment, what do you call program that or whatever you want to call it.
Financing.
Financing. That's what he used. He used the word financing. Like I'm not a what do you call it, a bank or a credit union or whatever. So I was very gracious. He's a nice guy. We were talking. We were in the house. I actually got in the house. I did get the job eventually. So I said, well, yeah, I do have a payment, somewhat of a payment plan. So what I do is, um, we would take the fabric amount. He was buying fabric. You pay for the fabric first. When I pick up the job, you pay half of the labor, and when I deliver the job, you give the rest of the labor. And so that's 3 payments. That satisfied him, so I had to be quick there, though, because what he was really asking for is probably more of a spread. He was probably asking more for, 6 months to a year to pay like you would get on a credit card or something, which no small business can operate like that. Like going in for a meal at a restaurant saying, "I can't pay you now, but I'll pay you every week, for a month," or whatever, I don't know. Darby says, "Can I ask a question about billing? I'm new to the industry." Sure. She says she tends to undercharge. Just before you ask me, just let me know what your experience is, how long you've been doing this, and how long. See, this is a loaded question, Darby, because it's tied into how proficient or how fast you are and how good you are. You know, if you're, you know, you have to take that into account. So there's an industry. I'll give you an industry, and also there's a geographic part to this. So you need to tell me where you are, what it is, what you're doing, and I'll give you an industry price for the Boston area, and you're going to have to make the adjustments, whatever they may be. I mean, if you're in New York, it would be more, but Boston is probably number 2 or 3 in the country. San Francisco, maybe California is in there. I'm not sure, but you'd have to make the adjustment. So I don't mind. I don't mind telling you what I would get in the Boston area, or what the industry average would be. So yeah, you can ask. If people need a payment plan, they need to go to a bank for sure, Malcolm. So it's interesting. I didn't think I was going to have anything to talk about, but I did. So I got a customer. She has a needle point. It's a small job. I block needle points. Do you guys block needle points? I bet Malcolm does. But I'll block a needle point and then sew a piece of fabric and upholster the sofa for her. And then I got an in-house, a very unusual treatment. It's for trim around the bottom of a skirt, which has to be glued on, and that's not an easy thing. There are 2 sofas, and I have to do it. It's in-house. I'm getting a lot of calls for in-house stuff where people, especially in townhouses in Boston, where they might have needed a crane to lift this stuff in, and they don't looking for somebody just to do it in-house. In-house is miserable, you guys. It really is for upholstery. I mean, it's hard enough doing a sofa at your shop. Doing it in somebody's house, you have to set up a shop in the house. That's hard. So you have to charge more, and a lot of people won't do that. So I'm doing window seats. I'm going to start getting into, Malcolm, just to let you know, I'm getting into hard cornices and headboards again. I used to make headboards, and I think headboards are coming back, and I think we're going to stop making headboards again. But headboards are cool because you can make all different designs on it. And I think, Patrick, that's about it. But I think we're going to wait. Don says the crane made me. What?
What about the question you asked
What?
about they're going to find, they're going to get
Well,
back to you?
Darby was going to ask a question. I said she can ask a question if she wants. Never thought about that. What about the crane? Yeah. Do you have anything else, other business, Patrick?
Well, we should say, so I'm going away for a little bit. So we won't
Patrick
be
is going away, so he won't be. He won't be. We won't be on for how long?
until after Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving, but we'll be able to talk about. Wait a minute. After Thanksgiving, right? We'll be able to talk about the class,
Yeah.
which will be in January. Hopefully, by then we'll know that it's going to run.
I know we keep saying it, but I really think we got to get back into a routine with these every week again.
So Darby says, I've been commercial sewing for 10 plus years. I'm a little slow because I'm always shooting for perfection. Totally understand the geographical aspect. So, I think I could give a shop time, Darby, and you could just figure the math out yourself. Shop time for an upholstery shop and a custom upholsterer in the Boston area is between $80 and $100 an hour. So if you have a wing chair, and you were Superman and you did it in 10 hours and you're $100 an hour, that's $800, but nobody can do a wing chair. That's like super speed. Wing chairs usually take 12 for somebody that's really fast. She said she's patching wall tents, double-sided. So for stitches though, stitching is not as much. So even high-end custom stitches, not. Well, window people can make some money, but I think you're more in the Boston area. I think you're at about $70 or $75 an hour. But remember, people tend to underestimate their hours. They tend not to look at the time it took to pick it up, the time to talk to the customers, like we were just discussing. Yeah, she says that's excellent information. I could go into more detail, some other time, but. For now, I think that's going to do it, you guys. So we'll see it. Listen, you guys. Hopefully, we'll all get busy. I did want to leave with something positive. So I had a young lady come in. She was in her 20s, and she had that needlepoint, and we got to talking, and she actually boosted the morale up a little bit for the future, especially people who are younger than me in this industry. She called herself a grand millennium, and I thought, "What's that?" And she said, "It's somebody that appreciates the old stuff," and that's why she brought the needlepoint to me and the ornament. And she said, "There's a group of these young ladies and young men who call themselves grand millenniums." So there you go. We'll leave you with that. And Darby says, "Thank you so much. I really enjoy you guys live chat. I really enjoy you guys, and thanks for the support, you guys. We're gonna get busy. You just wait and
I said,
see."
Darby, we used to do these every week. We
Yeah,
gotta.
yeah.
That's a be a New Year's resolution of ours.
Well, in the wintertime, we can probably settle down, Patrick, in the winter,
Yeah, things have just been so crazy. There's no excuse,
right? I
but
know.
it's tough to get
Well,
you're out there in Arlington, then you need to come over here.
yeah, it's
So
been
it's kind
crazy.
of
We've been scrambling around trying to make a living too. We got to do that. Hopefully, the things we've done helps people. We appreciate it.
have a good Thanksgiving, everybody, from the
Okay, guys,
U.S.
we'll see you later.
Bye.